Migrants are gonna come take our jobs. They're gonna come take our women. Speaking of which, it's the women's fault. It's the women's fault. Today we're learning about neo-reactionaries, the red pill movement, ethno-nationalism. It's all the same thing. It all falls under the same thing. Neo-reactionism, or the Dark Enlightenment. It emerged in the early 2000s as a counter-movement to progressive ideologies, deeply criticizing modernity and egalitarianism. Here I'm delving into the connections to primordialists' ideals and the use of the alien world framing device. Primordialist ideals, ethno-nationalism. Neo-reactionaries often adhere to primordialist views, emphasizing the perceived natural divisions between different groups of people based on ethnicity and race, advocating for separated, homogeneous societies. Tradition over modernity. They harbor a deep respect for traditional hierarchies and societal structures, often rooted in primordial, ancestral, or natural orders. Biological determinism. A belief in intrinsic differences in human capabilities and societal roles, often based on race and gender, which are seen as unchangeable and grounded in biology. The alien world framing device, a dystopian view of modern society. Neo-reactionaries often employ an alien world framing device to portray contemporary society as a dystopian world, which has veered far away from the natural order of things. Technological skepticism. While they do entertain discussions around technology's role in society, there's a consistent thread of skepticism towards the modern, technologically advanced world, often viewing it as an alien entity that fosters egalitarian ideologies, which they reject. Reaction to progressive movements. The alien world framework is also used to criticize progressive movements such as feminism and anti-racism, painting them as unnatural aberrations in the fabric of society. Neo-reactionaries use both primordialist ideals and the alien world framing device to critique and reject modern progressive ideologies, advocating for a return to what they perceive as the natural order of society. Their discourse often centers around a stringent criticism of democracy, equality, and contemporary liberal values. Neo-reactionaries frequently promote the idea of homogeneous societies, grounded in the primordialist belief that ethnic and racial groups have naturally different habitats. Perspective often glorifies a return to ethnically segregated societies. Cultural preservation. They argue for the preservation of culture and traditions through the maintenance of rigid boundaries, avoiding the influence of modern multiculturalism. Tradition over modernity. Hierarchical structures. There's a significant focus on traditional hierarchies grounded in older societal structures and an affinity towards monarchical systems over democratic ones. Religious foundations. Many neo-reactionaries advocate for the integration of religious doctrine into governance, considering it as rooted in primordial truths. Yeah, it's crazy how they're all hating on the migrants and stuff, even though half the world believes in the same blood sacrifice religion. You know, Jesus died for your sins. It's blood sacrifice. Anyway, the alien world framing device. Degeneration narrative. This narrative portrays modern society as a degenerate, having moved far away from the golden age of structure and order, which they attribute to earlier times grounded in primordialist principles. The rejection of egalitarianism. Modern notions of equality and social justice are often depicted as components of an alien world that disrupts the natural hierarchies that should be governing society. The technological regression. There's an element that entertains the idea of a return to pre-technological age, viewed as purer, less alien time. It's a noble savage fallacy. Anarcho-primitivism. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. There's also anti-feminism. Feminism is frequently viewed as a disruptive force, including the alien concepts that break down the natural order of society grounded in primordial gender roles. Blame the women, it's the women's fault. This is all the red pill people. I think society, like if you go to Homath, his site, he's not class conscious whatsoever. He's just blaming women for the problems. Like, never mind the conditioning of capitalism and the commodification of sexuality. Red pill overlap. In the red pill community, there's a substantial emphasis on the perceived inherent differences between gender, races, and cultures, much like the neo-reactionary focus is on ethno-nationalism. Passport Bros connection. The Passport Bros community, which often discusses traveling to different countries to find better dating prospects, can be seen as seeking space with traditional gender roles, sharing the primordialist view on the gender roles upheld in neo-reactionary circles. All leads to the same thing. Tradition over modernity, the red pill perspective. The red pill movement also echoes traditionalism, advocating for a return to perceived naturally ordained gender dynamics. Passport Bros preference. This group often extols the virtues of cultures and societies deemed more traditional and less influenced by modern feminist movements, aligning with the neo-reactionary reverence for tradition over modernity. Biological determinism, the red pill alignment. Biological determinism is a cornerstone of the red pill philosophy, with stringent beliefs in inherent differences between gender and races, emphasizing a natural hierarchy. The Passport Bros members often discuss perceived differences in women from differences geographical areas, basing their preferences on broad generalizations rooted in biological determinism. Alien world framing device, the dystopian view of modern society, the red pill resonance. The red pill philosophy often frames modern societal norms, especially around gender relations, as a dystopian deviation from the natural order. It's a woman's fault because I got no game. Passport bros. They sometimes depict the Western society as alien worlds where natural gender dynamics have been distorted, fostering a perceived dystopian dating landscape. Blame the women, not capitalism, right? Even though mothers from one generation ago were saying go marry a doctor and a lawyer. So both the red pill movement and the passport bros community reflect aspects of the neo-reactionary beliefs and their adherence to primordialist ideals and the utilization of the alien world framing device to criticize modern society structures. They coalesce around a shared critique of contemporary egalitarian movements, harboring a deep-seated skepticism towards progressive ideologies, fostering a space where primordialist views and a return to natural hierarchies are encouraged. So yeah, you can just call them out. Call out any of this ignorant. All of these movements, the neo-reactionaries, the red pill, passport bros, misogynists, even religious people, they have no answers to actual biosocial collapse. Oh, it's externalized salvation, brokers for your soul, and don't forget to tithe.